Hey guys, Mr. McSweeney here to help you with the Say passive voice. So we have two types of voices that we primarily work with. One is the active voice, and the other is the passive voice. So the active voice is what we have been using this whole time in Spanish because you're saying something is doing something. It's an active subject doing some sort of action. So for instance, if there was a chair here and I was sitting on it, I would say, I am sitting on the chair. That's an active voice because since I'm the subject, I'm doing the action. With the passive voice, the subject is receiving the action. I know that can get really confusing with objects, so be really careful with this. So in the sentence, I am sitting on the chair, that's the active voice because I'm doing it. Now, another way of saying that same sentence is the chair is being sat on. So is the chair doing anything? No. It's actually receiving the action of somebody else sitting on it. But it's the subject of the sentence, even though it's not doing anything. So this is a very different grammar structure than what we've been doing. So in Spanish, we have this thing called the say passive voice. It's really useful and you see this all the time. It's typically used for when nobody wants to define what the subject is or who's doing it. So for example, you'll oftentimes see signs in the United States that will say, Se habla español. Literally, it has a weird meaning. But when we refer to the say passive voice, what it's actually saying is Spanish is spoken here. Now it's an expression, kind of more of a grammatical structure that we don't necessarily have here. Because in English, we usually just have a sign that says, we speak Spanish. This is a kind of generic usage of whatever verb you're focusing on. So another one you might see is, no se acepta tarjetas de crédito. Now what that means is credit cards are not accepted here. So credit cards is the actual subject of that sentence, but it's not doing anything. That's why it's a passive voice. You also might see signs outside of stores kind of talking about what it sells there. So you might see Se vende queso. Cheese is sold here. It's a weird way to think about it. More and more you see signs and things like that as you travel, you'll start to kind of get this concept of what the say passive voice is. Basically, the way you form it is you put say, then you conjugate the verb in the él, ella, usted form, or if the thing that comes after it is plural, then you put it in the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. I hope this helps. Good luck.